Hey everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Have you tried mixing moisturizer with foundation? I have certainly done so, and I have done so for many years now. I remember when I was younger, I would apply my mother's foundation with moisturizer and would apply on my face because I really hated makeup. Yes, I started applying makeup and learning about makeup quite later in life, but this trick I have been doing since a really long time. So today we are going to understand how to mix foundations with moisturizers to get this beautiful, dewy, glowy, hydrated makeup look without getting that heavy feeling of the foundation. If you're interested to find out more on this topic, please continue watching. Alright guys, before we start applying some foundation and moisturizer mixture on our face, there are a few points which you need to keep in mind. I have tried this formula only with liquid foundations, so I will not be able to tell you about cream or stick foundations whether this will work out or not. I think these will work best with liquid foundations, and I think this method works well for a few hours. If you want a quick makeup look for just a couple of hours, this will work great. You may try out yourself and see what works out best for you, but some things to keep in mind. Before you start going and mixing your moisturizer and foundations, there are 4 things to keep in mind, or 4 things which you should not do. First, silicone-based products, silicone-based moisturizers or foundations, they will not work great with water-based products like water-based foundations or water-based moisturizers. So if you're using a silicone-based moisturizer, try to see that your foundation is also silicone based. Then they will mix in properly and there won't be any pilling. How to identify silicone based products? In the ingredient list, you can see if the product has a lot of ingredients with the ending O and E. For example, dimethicone, cyclopentaxylane, and things like that, which are silicone based ingredients. Next point to note, oil and water are not going to blend. So if you have a water based foundation, use a water based moisturizer. If you have an oil based foundation, use a oil based moisturizer. So these will mix in properly and give you a smoother application. If you try to mix in water and oil, then it will separate and they will not mix in properly. For example, I have this oil based cream, which is the Body Shop Oils of Life, and I have this water-based foundation, which is the Born This Way foundation. If I go and try to mix these two, they will not mix properly. The next point to consider is whether your moisturizer has SPF in it. If your moisturizer has chemical SPF, then it blends pretty well with your foundation. Depends on what kind of foundation it is. But if your moisturizer has a physical SPF, that is, it contains zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, then that may not mix in with your foundation which you're using, because mineral SPF does cause some streakiness and it will cause some issues in blending. That's what I have seen. So try to avoid moisturizers which have SPF in it while you're doing these mixtures. And the last point to consider is if you have a matte foundation, then it may not blend well with a very oily moisturizer. Make sure the moisturizer which you are blending with your matte foundation is hydrating, light, not too creamy, not too oily. Otherwise, it's going to cause a lot of that thick cakiness on the skin. Next, how to determine whether the foundation or the moisturizer is water-based or oil-based. There are a few ways in which you can determine. I would say there are about 4 steps in which you can determine whether the foundation or the moisturizer is water-based. First, check the ingredient list. In the ingredient list, if you see aqua as the first ingredient, then most likely it is a water-based foundation, but there may be certain variations to it. If silicone is listed as one of the ingredients after water, then also it's probably a water-based foundation. But if there are multiple silicone ingredients listed after water, then it's probably most likely a water-based silicone foundation. And if you have base as water and you have a lot of oils and creams and shea butter and all of these natural creamy ingredients listed, then it's most likely an oil-based foundation or moisturizer. Oil-based moisturizers or foundations are a little bit tricky to decide because they sometimes will have water or aqua as their first ingredient, but the decider is whether there are any oils listed in the ingredient list, and how high up are they in the ingredient list. But if you're not able to decide from the ingredient list, there are a few other steps which you can take. Step number 2 is look for common ingredients. For example, if your foundation or moisturizer has a lot of hydrating elements like glycerin, aloe vera, hyaluronic acid, or any other hydrating agents, then most likely that is a water-based formulation. But if your moisturizer or foundation has a lot of creamy ingredients like oils, coconut, almond, fatty alcohols, or butters like shea butter, cocoa butter, then it's most likely a oil-based formulation. Third step is test the texture. This is applicable for moisturizers. If the moisturizer gets really nicely absorbed into the skin and feels very hydrating, it's most likely a water-based moisturizer. But if the moisturizer is feeling thicker on the skin, not getting absorbed quickly, creamier, feeling very greasy on the skin, then it's a oil-based moisturizer. Fourth step, which is close related to the third step, is how it feels on the skin. If it feels very cooling and hydrating, then it's most likely a water-based moisturizer. And if it feels very rich and creamy and thick on the skin, it's most likely an oil-based moisturizer. So using these 4 steps, you can find out whether the moisturizer and foundation which you're using is oil-based or water-based. And that's how I have decided on the foundations and the moisturizers which I'm going to show you in today's video. Next, I'm going to show you some foundation mixtures which really work well on the skin. Right now also I'm wearing one of such mixtures. You will get to know in the video ahead. Just keep in mind that I do have only water-based hydrating foundations. I have one silicone-based which I'm going to show you in the demo. But that's also a water-based silicone foundation. Rest all the foundations which I have are water-based foundations. I don't have a single foundation which is oil-based. So I really need to try some oil-based foundations and see how they feel on the skin, because oil-based foundations are actually really good for dry skin, and I have dry skin, so I would really like to try out. So today I'm not showing you any oil-based formulations, but I have oil-based moisturizers like this one, the Oils of Life. This is an oil-based moisturizer. If I get any oil-based foundation later in future, I will probably try out with this one. I also have the Forest Essentials Facial Moisturizer. This also has a lot of different rich oils, natural ingredients in it. So this is also, I think, is an oil-based moisturizer because it feels very creamy and like very greasy on the skin. It doesn't get fully absorbed. I was searching online what are some of the oil-based foundations which are out there. So Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation Stick is an oil-based. Josie Maran and Kevyn Aucoin also has oil-based foundations. Hourglass Illusion Hyaluronic Skin Tints is supposed to be oil-based. And MAC Studio Face and Body is also supposed to be oil-based. So I will research more on these foundations and I'll see if I want to try something. But for now, I'm going to show you variations of water-based foundations with different kind of moisturizers. So the first combo which we are going to try are both water-based. One is a water-based matte formulation, the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and the other one is from ELF. This is the Daily Moisturizer with Hyaluronic Acid, Jojoba Seed Oil and Vitamin E. It feels very lightweight and moisturizing on the skin, gets quickly absorbed. It also has silicones in it, but I primarily think this is a more water-based moisturizer for me. So we're going to mix these two formulations and show you how it works. So I'm going to take the shade Tahoe, and I don't want to take too much. It has a lot of coverage. So just taking a tad bit, like this much, and moisturizer will be the regular amount. This much first, and I'm going to mix it to see how well this mixes. If the moisturizer and the foundation is not mixing properly, you will just understand straight away. It will start peeling and separating. It's not going to mix. It's going to form little bubbles in it. So that means that formulation is not going to work. It's not going to mix and blend out on the skin properly. So it has to be a very, very smooth paste with not much bubbles or, you know, grains or granules in it. I have tried this a lot, believe me. That's how I know it works or not. So I'm going to apply it on one side of the face and we'll see how And it's very easy to apply. Just I use my hands first. I apply it as a moisturizer. You can take a beauty blender also and just dab everything just for a finishing touch. And this is how it has nicely blended in. And it matches my skin tone also perfectly. You don't have to think whether the foundation is matching your skin tone or anything. It gives such a nice finish also. You have something on the skin. Let me do the other side quickly. So on this kind of formulation, I'm not going to apply any powder. I'll apply a little bit of concealer though for highlighting and just getting rid of any dark circles, just a tiny bit. And it feels super comfortable. It's more comfortable than applying a matte foundation. I'll apply a little bit of cream blush just for some color. If you want to apply cream blushes, I will highly recommend just apply a little bit of moisturizer mixed with foundation or a BB cream, CC cream. Then the cream blush also looks more nicer. I'll just apply a little bit of lipstick. This is one of my other favorite Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. This is a glossy lipstick in the shade Walk of Shame, but it's in the glossy form, the Hot Lips. And that's it. That's the first combination. Water-based foundation, a water-based matte foundation mixed in with a water-based moisturizer. This is how it looks like. Very natural. You don't really have to set it with powder also. This is my favorite combination of the mixtures which I do, and I just love how fresh the face looks, and I don't really have to apply powder. Face looks natural, creamy, glowy. So this is very, very everyday friendly. Next, I'm going to mix two silicone based products. This is a silicone based foundation, Huda Beauty, the Faux Filter Luminous Matte Foundation. It has a lot of silicone inside it, and same way this feels very silicone-y on the face. This is the Il Makiage Anti-Aging Collagen Boost Priming and Plumping Cream. This also feels very silicone-y, dimethicone on the skin, and these two actually mix pretty well. So I'm going to show you how they look on my skin. This packaging is not good. It doesn't pump anymore, so I have to take out and use this. This is how the foundation looks like. I'm using the shade Toffee. This is how the moisturizer looks like. It is a very silicone-y gel-like texture. Comes with a spatula, thankfully. And mix. Look how beautifully they mix together. There is no pilling, especially with silicone-based primers, foundations, and moisturizers. If they don't mix properly, they will cause a little bit of peeling on the skin. So that is not happening. So yay, this works great together. Let's apply quickly and show you guys. The foundation shade is a little bit off, but it's okay. I'm just using a light coverage anyways. And my moisturizer has collagen in it. So I have sort of upgraded my foundation with collagen inside. With this method, you just have to see that everywhere it's well blended. Since both are silicone based, there may be somewhere where they are not blending properly, so just go in a little bit harder on that area and it should blend out. For me, it says all blended out fine, and I'll just give a light blend with the sponge. The texture feels so good. The skin feels absolutely smooth, but since this is not a self-setting foundation, I will apply a little bit of powder with this formulation. So this is how this finish looks like. I have applied a little bit of powder on the skin and it just looks super smooth, super healthy, and it's so lightweight. That's the best part about this method of applying foundation and moisturizer for everyday. It just feels so lightweight and gives a nice natural finish. So this is a mix of silicone based foundation and silicone based moisturizer. Another advantage of using the foundation this way is that you saw the foundation was a tad bit deeper from my skin tone, but when I mixed it with the moisturizer, it doesn't really matter. It looks perfect on my skin. So if you have a foundation shade which is not working for you, mix it with the moisturizer. Maybe it will be something which you will end up loving so much. The next concoction which I'm going to show you, of course the foundation is going to be water based, but it's going to be a hydrating, very liquidy, luminous foundation. So this is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. It's a luminous but more of a natural finish foundation, and I just love it. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to mix it. This one is actually really nice on its own as well, but since we are doing this video, I'm going to mix it with this one. This is the Innisfree Dewy Glow Jelly Cream Blossom thingy. It's a gel moisturizer. It's super hydrating, very lightweight. It feels like a jelly inside. Okay, and this foundation also is like very lightweight, very liquidy, runny. Both of these mix up really well and gives a light layer of coverage. So I'll show you that also. Okay, so this is how the foundation is, super runny. Okay, and I'll take a little bit of the jelly cream. This is the jelly cream. I hope you can see. And then we're going to mix. This jelly cream actually doesn't mix well with a lot of foundations I have tried. Although it's a water-based cream, but it has some kind of a ingredient in it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't mix with a lot of foundations, but with this one, it mixes really well. So it forms like a slight jelly-like foundation, and it's perfect for applying on your face. You will not get that kind of a coverage with this one. I think the previous two concoctions are better if you want a little bit of coverage, but this is like super hydrating. It feels so cooling, and you will still get a light layer of coverage. For the video, I've already done my eyes and the brows, so that's why I'm applying so carefully. If it was not the video, I would just apply it everywhere. Okay, it will be a little bit more faster, I think. But anyways, you get the idea. This gives such a nice dewy luminous finish. Look at that. It's really beautiful. Although this is not one of my favorites, I will apply this kind of a gel with a little bit more full coverage foundation. I think we'll get a much more better coverage. But this is also like a nice lightweight, light layer skin tint. So I will apply some powder and then I'll show you the final look. I'm just applying a little bit of powder blush. I've already applied powder, very slight layer of powder. So this is the Buxom Wanderlust blush, very old one which I have in my collection. And this is how the finished makeup or non-makeup looks like. It looks so natural, so pretty. I review a lot of foundations on my channel, but this is my favorite way of wearing foundations if you ask me. I have one more concoction to show you. They will look very similar, but since the product types are so different, I am just continuing on and on. So this is the last one which I'm going to show you, and then we'll wrap up the video. We're down to the last mixture. I really wanted to show you this one. You will understand why. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. It's really popular, and I want to mix this one with a foundation. So I will use the Born This Way foundation. This is a more hydrating foundation. It has a slight bit of a glow to it, and I'm going to use this one with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. Why I wanted to show you this one is because the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream is not really water based, not really oil based. You can't really distinguish this. This is water based. Yes, it's the first ingredient is water or aqua, but it also has some oils in it in forms of shea butter and other creamy ingredients. So it has a very creamy formulation as well. So I can't really place it under water based or oil based moisturizer. So this one actually works well pretty much with both kind of moisturizer. So that's why I wanted to show you this one, and this is going to be our last for the day. So I'll take a little bit of this moisturizer. It's really creamy on the skin. Also, it doesn't really get quickly absorbed onto the skin like your water-based moisturizers will, and still it has a lot of water content in it. So, and it has silicone also in it, so it's kind of somewhere in the middle. And I'll use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Caramel, and this works out so great because caramel is quite dark for me now. Once upon a time in Singapore it used to be fine, but it's quite dark. So if I mix this with this magic cream, it works out like a charm. See how well it blends out? Just make sure you're blending out everything very nicely, and it has to form a smooth paste. I will sound like a broken record. This looks beautiful. It gives such a nice coverage because the Too Faced foundation gives quite a nice coverage. It's a medium to full buildable coverage foundation. And the consistency, it's not like too dewy also, that matte as the first one or self-setting as the first one I showed you, or not too dewy as the previous one which I showed you. It gives a very nice natural finish. Even if you don't set it with powder, this looks fine. So I really like this concoction. I hope this video is helpful and I'm not doing something funny, as in this is something which I always do, but I haven't really talked about this in videos, and I thought maybe I should talk about it because some people might find this helpful. Looks so beautiful. It's like almost like a nice coverage BB cream or CC cream, although I have applied quite a lot, so it looks quite glowy today. Don't apply so much, but yeah, this is how it looks. Let me apply some powder on it and then I'll be right back. This is how the face looks like. Love this look as well. It's nice and glowy, luminous, very hydrating, very creamy, because this is a creamy moisturizer which I have used, and it works really well with the foundation as well. This is, I think, my second most favorite. Here you do have to set the foundation with powder, so it's not as quick. The first one which I showed you, that was my favorite matte foundation, and the moisturizer, you don't really have to set that foundation also, but with this one you just have to set it a little bit and then you're good to go. So those are the ways in which I have tried mixing foundation and moisturizer. Do let me know if you have tried out any of this or intend to try out any of this. I would love to know. I always try to make my videos very informational. If you watch my videos, I don't want you to waste time. I want you to gain something from it. So this video was also in that direction. I hope this video was helpful and you liked it. If you liked it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. And if you're watching me for the first time, I really hope you'll consider subscribing. Do let me know if you have any video suggestions which you would like me to do. I have got a few suggestions in the previous videos I have done, so I'm working on them, so they are going to come soon. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again really soon in my next video. Bye.